One of my classmates was talking to someone off screen about how shitty the class is and how stupid our lecturer is. Her mic and camera were both on. She was rambling for about 30 seconds when the lecturer just said her name. She just looked over at her screen, leaned forward a tad, then her eyes went wide, and she covered her mouth. She immediately left the meeting. Haven't seen her in class since. This was 2 weeks ago. Just today, this one guy had some unholy screeching coming through the mic from elsewhere in the house. No context, he just had a mildly panicked look on his face and muted himself. During an all-school meeting, a teacher and his wife got in an argument, and you could hear them yelling at each other. Not in my class, someone was unmuted while they started talking shit about someone else in the class before the teacher muted them. In my class, someone's mom came in and started yelling in Spanish. It was awkward BC. At first the teacher thought they'd been trying to ask a question, so she said what and for quiet for a minute, while everyone just listened. Someone in one of our huge official department meetings was unmuted. You could hear her BF ask in the background, "What are y'all doing?" And she said, "Just this stupid meeting, we not doing shy I eat." It was hilarious. She got kicked out of the meeting though. Our maths teacher is terrifying but doesn't really know how to work a computer. He was messing everything up and kept accidentally muting himself and stuff. Anyway, this girl in my class forgot to mute herself and basically spent a good 2 minutes dissing him with an impressive range of obscenities. At some point she realized that she was broadcasting her extremely low opinions of our teacher to the entire class. The teacher was very unhappy, and the girl immediately left the class. My girlfriend told me a story of her taking an online Zoom Pilates class at the beginning of everything shutting down. The Zoom meeting was set up in presenter instead of gallery mode, so whoever is speaking is on the main screen. She said in one of the poses someone farted, and their camera popped up on the screen for everyone until the next instruction. Super awkward. Not in school, but a few years ago during online training for my job. Our managers agreed we could do the training at home, since it was all remote anyway, and so it was a nice week working from home. During one of the sessions we heard what sounded like porn, then it got louder and louder. Finally the presenter says, "Okay, we see who is unmuted. I'm not going to name names, but let's be professional here." The poor guy couldn't look any of us in the eye after we returned to work. I was browsing social media as one does in the middle of a lecture, then expressed surprise at something I saw on there to my GF. Little did I know my mic was on and the teacher stopped class to ask what I said. Not exactly forgot the camera was on, but forgot their surroundings. Webcam starts up, and there's just a massive dildo on the bed beside where this person was sitting, back behind them. I've never felt so badly for an instance of poor forgetfulness. Teacher was teaching an online class, grinds, which are extracurricular. There was a ton of audio issues, and people kept saying they couldn't hear him. Eventually he said that we would postpone the class to a couple days later, and that we could all leave the meeting now. Of course, I'm pretty sure this isn't the most tech-savvy guy, so he didn't realize that most of us couldn't tell he said to leave, audio issues again, and so we hung around a couple more minutes. Somehow, it was a lot more audible when he tossed his glasses onto the table and said, "That was a fucking disaster." I then realized that it was time to go. Girl started to full-on make out with her boyfriend. I mean under the shirt, heading to third base type shit. Our professor has to beg her to at least turn off her camera. My 7th grade daughter turned on her Zoom meeting for her very first class on her first day of school, saw the face of the student who was currently talking, and yelled, "Not Victoria, I hate Victoria." I asked her if her mic was muted, and she looked at her screen horrified, slammed her laptop shut, ran out of the room yelling I quit school. It was a rough first day. Once my very adorable classmate sang happy birthday, so cheerfully, while our prof was discussing. She only noticed it when she came back to class, and saw our reactions in the chat. It was her dog's birthday, she said, then apologized for it. Oh shit too, or real quick. My mate does IT for a private school, and they had issues with kids anonymously drawing dick pics in group Zoom meetings. He changed some settings without telling the students, and so the next time it happened the artists' names were displayed against their next creation, rolling on the floor laughing. Not exactly, but I did have a student who obviously walked away in a call. We predominantly use Teams for our video calls, and it'll show you who is in a meeting, and how long it is going for. I go through the teaching of the content, and then I will always say if you know what needs to be done, you're welcome to leave the call. If not, hang around and I'll answer your questions. All the students leave except one. I ask him how he's going and he doesn't reply. I ask again, still no reply. So I left the call and timed how long he was still in there. The kid was still in the call for another 45 minutes before he came back and realized everyone was gone. Still sent me a message asking what they needed to do. /edit/ also, thanks for the cake day wishes. I had no clue it was today, thought it was like 2 weeks ago. Also, I didn't know this question was targeted to students, so my bad. Just yesterday. Kid was talking to his friend about how stupid the class was. Teacher stops and waits for him to finish. It takes them a second to realize that it's silent now. He asks if they're done. Sorry professor, muted. Cue the text chat in the server dying with laughter at him. We made a Discord server for the class. Not a teacher, but my wife is. She said that anytime she is in her class live stream, our 4-year-old will go use the potty and yell at her, I am done. Or anytime she smells something bad, she will come up and ask her, did you toot? I asked her if she did, and that's why she is asking. She denies it, but I think otherwise. I accidentally did this to my daughter. She was participating in a Zoom Uni tutorial. Half an hour earlier I had started trying to fix our clothes dryer, which had stopped spinning, and was giving off a burning smell. I took the dryer apart, and after looking up several YouTube videos managed to fix it. I was so proud of myself I burst into my daughter's room, and said, guess who fixed the dryer? Me, with my arms spread out wide. My daughter was mortified and said, Mum, I'm in a uni lecture. Afterwards, she told me the professor told her to tell me she was very happy, that I was so happy I fixed the dryer. Not a student, but a few months ago, we were on a Zoom meeting about the release of a big project me and the rest of the dev team have been working on since January. I was muted, as 90% of the folk in the meeting, and I was bored, so I started scrolling, and seeing the faces of everyone that had their cameras on. A lady was watching the meeting with her webcam on, and her husband walked in naked from the bathroom. Her face was unforgettable. She immediately turned her cam off. Just me and another coworker noticed the incident.